The biggest story that came out of the debate was Donald Trump's answer about if he will accept the results of the election. It was all over the place. All the commentators, all the analysts on CNN and MSNBC. Look at all the titles on the website. CNN, MSNBC, Politico, New York Post, Washington Post, New York Times. All of them talking about how, oh my gosh, Trump, he actually said that he wouldn't accept the results of the election. Oh my gosh, he doesn't believe in democracy. That's what
like
Van Jones on CNN.
Like, okay,
he said Donald Trump was unpatriotic. That's what Van Jones said on CNN. He said he was unpatriotic.
Okay.
He doesn't believe in the electoral process in America. How could you do that?
I'm not defending Trump.
No.
But that's not what he was getting at. That's not what Trump was getting at. Like, I'm not defending Trump. I'm just saying that, like, what they extracted from what he said is such an exaggeration.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just went overboard with that, in my opinion.
Because basically what he said was, I mean, he was asked the question, will he accept the results of the election? And he said, well, we'll see. I'll take a look at it at that time.
Because there's no conditions at that point.
No.
In this hypothetical, ending of Hillary Clinton winning, there's no conditions in it. So you can't.
It's a setup question.
It's a setup question. You can't have a position when you don't know the conditions.
Right.
At the end.
It's just, you know what? America has such a thing with tradition. Like in terms of politics too. Like, this is tradition. You just accept it and concede and congratulate the winner, and that's it. Doesn't matter if there was election fraud. You can't say it. Now, see, and Trump didn't say that there was going to be election fraud. Now, see, like us, like objective, commentators, could there be election fraud? You're damn straight there could be election fraud. Because we saw that during the Democratic primaries, right?
Look, and this is why they constantly, like, I guess, change and reframe the story around voter fraud.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Voter fraud isn't what we want to be talking about. No. We want to be talking about election fraud. That's the bigger scale. That's what we saw in the primaries. And I suppose that is what... I suppose that's what Trump is thinking about. Maybe I don't know.
Actually, I don't even think he understood the question, because when they asked him the question about election fraud, he went on to talk about the media and how they've been unfair and how they've linked up with the Clinton campaign to promote her and to kind of vilify him. He was more or less talking about, I guess, the image that the public sees and how that influences them to vote more so than actual election or election fraud.
But so then he did. I don't know if it was at that point or some other point, but he did bring up the James O'Keefe video and how they were talking about busing people in. So he was talking about voter fraud too. So, but that's what. From what I know, that's a very small scale issue. Voter fraud is a very, very small scale issue. Now, when you're talking about election fraud, you're talking about people that have positions. You're talking about elected officials. You're talking about people
at polling places.
Yes, that are being instructed to do things. Mm-hmm. You're talking about attorney generals. Talking
about Illinois.
Yeah. You're talking about these individuals with power that are able to manipulate voting. That's not voter fraud. That's election fraud. So these analysts and these commentators, they just want people to get all up in arms and offended by what Trump said, and that he will not just unconditionally accept the results of the election. Like, if I was on that stage, I'm answering the question, well, we're going to have to see at the time, too. That would be my honest answer, because, like I said, I know what happened during the primary.
And see, it can't be an accident because it was so coordinated from you know what I'm saying? It was so coordinated. There's so many media outlets and analysts just jumped on that.
It was the night of it was the event of that debate. Everybody jumped on it. They were talking about it all last night.
And actually, his answer was pretty tapered.
Yeah, it was
not classic Trump.
It wasn't really
it was
that that controversial.
It was actually pretty mild considering the
because Trump could have ran away with it.
Yeah, exactly.
He could have ran away
because that was essentially the debate finale.
Yes, people need to understand that we are not living in a democracy because our opinions, our feelings, our needs are not represented by our elected officials. Because like if they were, that would be a democracy. But studies have shown that no matter how much we don't support an issue or how much we do support an issue, it really has no effect on if that will become law.
Yeah, exactly. It's
or that will become a bill that they will vote on.
Yeah,
it has no effect whatsoever.
Yeah, it's the same. It's like the same percentage.
Yes,
it's like no matter what the percentage of people, American people agree with something,
right?
Like Congress passes the legislation at the same rate.
Right. It was a Princeton study. It was 0% support. 100% support.
They pass it at the same rate.
No difference. Now, see, that's for the bottom 90% of earners in this country. Now, the top 10% of earners, okay. Now when they don't want something, it doesn't get done at all. Doesn't get done. That's important. So when they object to something that we may support, it doesn't get done. Now, when they really want something, it has a higher chance.
So we do have a democracy.
Yeah, a democracy for.
It's just.
It's called an oligarchy.
Yeah. We have a democracy, but it's only like it's only
for the 10% of people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They have a democracy.
It's only for the special.
Yeah, we have an oligarchy. That's what's real in America. So all these media outlets are trying to do is inflame the public and saying, oh my gosh, Trump does not believe in our ways. He does not believe in the fabric of America and our electoral process. You need to be upset about this, and you can't vote for a guy like that.
That sounds very defensive. That's not. No, I'm saying that sounds very defensive.
Well, they're implicated.
Exactly.
They're a part of this whole sham of a democracy.
I think that's why the reaction was the way it was because they're being defensive.
They have to make it into like.
They have to make it into it. They have to make him be the curmudgeon. You know what I'm saying?
Right.